I think there's not all devices are created equal, right? There is a reason why you trust your iPhone or your mobile phone to use your biometrics as a login, right? Your Face ID or your fingerprint scan as a login mechanism to your phone, right? It's because you trust this device because it has extra security features built into it, right? Would you trust some device that you bought for $20 to manage your Face ID or your Retina scan? Definitely not, because
No
you
way.
probably are sure that that thing would not have the security features to protect it, right? So there is a special kind of chip out there. It's called secure hardware, right? It's a chip in your phone that does your biometrics and your Face ID. It's a chip in your Ledger hardware wallet that protects your private keys, and it's a chip on your credit card that manages your spending credentials or protects your spending credentials, right? And all of these chips are expensive, but they're getting cheaper by the day. So they're being put into more and more devices. It used to be only like the mission critical devices that, Tesla has some of the most high quality secure hardware built into their vehicles, because if you're able to hack the car, then you're going to die, right? So, but now in all sorts of devices, people are using these secure chips. And one thing that these secure chips can do is sign data that it observes, and before you submit that to the blockchain, right? So that's where things become very interesting, is when you combine, again, tamper-proof hardware with tamper-proof software, right? But even if it's not tamper-proof hardware, it doesn't mean that you can't use it on blockchain, because there's a lot of software-based authentication stuff as well, right? Like, we get this question a lot. There's a lot of applications building on IoTeX right now that use data from your Apple Health app, right? Your Apple Health app tells you your heart rate, how well you slept, all these things. But there's also a lot of ways to fake that information, right? The number of steps that you take, I can grab my phone, I can shake it, I just took 30 steps, right, while sitting in place. So
Right.
it's not really about like it. Security is always in layers, right? You have to have multiple layers of security to make sure something's trusted, which is why two-factor authentication and now multi-factor authentication works, right? Your password is supposed to be very secure, but if it happens not to be, then you need your cell phone. And if that's not secure, maybe you have a UB key that will provide the third factor of authentication, right? Same thing with a lot of these um, a lot of these Oracle networks, right? Putting data onto a blockchain is very important to know that that data is trustworthy before you use it to trigger a financial incentive. Else, it becomes a scammer's honeypot, right? But it's a combination of hardware and software, right? We happen to focus a lot on the hardware side because that's where a lot of the data will originate, right? But you also can't discount the need for multiple layers of secondary and tertiary proof, to protect that data, right? So, um, yeah, not all devices are created equal. That's why I think a lot of people don't use like hardware wallets that aren't Ledger. You know what I mean? So it's just interesting to think about that too.